Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. I hope y'all doing. I had a nice week, nice weekend. It's like almost the middle of the month. Valentine's Day coming up. You know, it's gonna be. It's moving kind of fast already. 2026, we just got here. Slow down. But this last week was pretty cool for me. The Super Bowl was kind of cool. The Seahawks went ahead and did what they were supposed to do and win the Super Bowl. They did a good job. It was a boring game till about fourth quarter. Then it started kind of heating up, getting a little better. But other than that, it's been the normal, working week, working all the time, becoming a dad. I will say I've been telling everybody the same thing about I'm getting tired of the 2 jobs thing. So, I'm trying to 2 to 3 jobs. I'm trying to figure out how I can mix that up and kind of, get some more time off. I'm exhausted, y'all. I'm not going to lie. That's probably the only thing that didn't change is working so much and not having consistent off days, consistent sleep patterns. I haven't been able to really sleep that well like this last week. I don't really know what's going on, but my whole mood has been like in chaos, and I don't like it. So I've been just trying to keep my head held high, make sure there's nothing internally going on that I need to figure out right now that's doing that. But I definitely am just saying that it's been one rough week, However, I'll get some sleep tomorrow night after me and Kalila, her sweetheart dances tomorrow at school, so that's pretty cool. Her shoes and stuff came in already. Can't wait to post pictures, so we can kind of get that going on. It's gonna be fun. I've been waiting all my life. Like, this is stuff I wanted to do, be a dad. That's all I really care about. So when it comes to these little sweetheart dances and events at school and I can be there for it, I get real lit for it. I make sure I'm there. So I left work at a decent time for tomorrow. I'll be leaving at a decent time. That way I can get home. I can shower, change, get ready, make sure it's all good to go. I know my daughter's going to enjoy it. She's going to have fun. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Anyway, last week we kind of had the conversation speaking about, so sorry. Last week's conversation had some of my friends speaking about some things that, like, I thought it was a great, honestly, like, there were no bad things to the conversation that we had. It was great to kind of see different viewpoints on the topic. It was great to see people work on it in different ways. But it also just made me want to talk about it, because I think we've all have been there. We may be going through it. There may be some things about it. But I thought that because it was such a great conversation with no negatives, that maybe we should have that conversation too. Maybe we should talk about it as well. I want to talk about reflective anger today. Yeah, it's crazy. I want to understand, or come to a point where when disrespect feels personal. So again, just sit with me for a second. Take time to talk to me. Let's figure it out together. Let's see what we can do. But I want to talk about this. I think it's serious. I think it's something that we can actually grow from and learn from. But good afternoon, or good evening, I should say, depending on where you are. Today, we are talking about something that doesn't get discussed enough: reactive anger. Not just anger, not just rage, not aggression, but reflective anger. Um, I was talking to my sister, and we were talking about it. And she's in therapy now. We both in therapy, been in therapy. And one topic that she's working on now was probably one of the first things I had to deal with in therapy. And am I saying I'm perfect at it? In no way, shape, or form. I say that I've been working on it every day to get better at it. However, she brought up reflective anger. I used to be like that, where disrespect meets disrespect. Like you hit me with something, I'm a macho energy, pretty much. I used to be like that. We were having a conversation about it, and we had a couple heart to hearts throughout that conversation. So, with that and the conversation between some friends over the weekend and the last week, I feel like it was just meant to talk about this. Like, I just kept getting the signs that it kept being brought up. Um, but a lot of people don't really have an idea what reflective anger really looks like, because I had no idea what the fuck that meant. I mean, what the hell that meant. I had no idea what it meant. I thought it was just like, I don't know, you looking at yourself in the mirror mad or something. I had no idea when it was brought up to me at the time. And then I got what it means, and how it can affect certain things, certain people. Um, Reflective anger is like, it's the kind of anger that feels automatic. That kind of anger that mirrors whatever energy that hits you, whatever they own, you own. The kind of anger that says, "Oh, you came at me like that? Bet I got something for you." And a lot of us, especially as men, we wear that like a badge of honor. You know what I mean? Like a true badge of honor. And why? I have no idea. I have no idea. We say things like, "I'm just matching energy," or I give people what they give me, or I give people the same energy they give me, or I ain't starting nothing, but I don't mind finishing it, or I ain't started, but I can finish it. Either somewhere around those lines. But let me ask you the real question: is it strength, or is it trauma responding? Oh, we'll get into it. Don't worry, don't answer just yet. Is it confidence, or is it defense mode that never turned off? Sound kind of reasonable, huh? I know, I know. So today we're gonna be breaking it down. Healthy ways to deal with reflective anger, the issues it creates in relationships, how it affects the people around you, why disrespect doesn't always need to meet disrespect, and what trauma may have wired you this way in the first place. Because little do you know, there's something behind it. There's a reason why you acting that way. It's always a reason. Because sometimes what we call personality, it's really unhealed survival. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what exactly reflective anger is. Okay. Um, Emotional mirroring. That's what it equals. Reflective anger equals emotional mirroring. Whatever emotions you see in front of you, you're gonna copy, mimic, and repeat. Just throw it back out there. It's reactive, not proactive. Man, man. Reactive, not proactive. It feels justified because it feels fair, but often rooted in pride, protection, or past wounds is where it really comes from. Reflective anger is when your emotional response is based on what someone gives you. Okay. So if they're calm, you're calm. If they're disrespectful, you're disrespectful. If they yell, you yell louder. It's really emotional mirroring. And it feels justified because you tell yourself, I didn't start it. It wasn't me. I just responded. I didn't pick the fight. I finished it. But here's the truth: just because you didn't start it doesn't mean you didn't escalate it, right? Reflective anger doesn't just ask, what's the best outcome? That's not where that comes from. It asks, how do I make sure I'm not losing? Okay. And that mindset alone tells us something deeper is going on. Do we really know what it is that could be deeper that's going on? Do we really understand what it is? Probably not at the moment. There are probably times where you feel like you want to know something, you want to know that it's taken care of, you want to know what the issue is and where it's coming from, but you can't really, you don't really have an answer for it yet. You may not even know how to attack the issue in a healthy way to improve, to progress, you know? So I always say, man, it starts with just get a little bit of therapy in your system. I'm telling you, if I'm not saying it's gonna fix all of your problems because it's still up to you. But I believe from my experiences with therapy that it is going to put you on such a positive path that you're able to dictate what you need to do based on you as a person, not what you see everybody else doing. Because I'll tell everybody, hey, look, I this is what I did when I was having those problems, and this is what worked for me. I'm not saying it'll work for you, but maybe you can find something around these lines that may work for you or may for you. You never really know. Um, but for the most part, I just think that, you know, you have to be willing to want to work on it in order for it to change. You have to be willing to put the effort in to start somewhere to do better and be better. If you're not really ready to put that effort in or that work in, then what are you doing? One step at a time. It's easy, one step at a time. But we got to start somewhere. When we keep ignoring the problem instead of trying to attack it and actually deal with the issue, we don't really get anywhere, do we? We kind of just sit there in a cycle. It's like we're going through the same thing all the time. Um, and again, you may not really know where it comes from and where it came, where exactly it stemmed from altogether. But there are some things that will cause you got some trauma roots that will cause it. Growing up unheard. So, like myself, I was a child that grew up unheard. Um, I felt like when I tried to express myself, nobody would listen, nobody would hear me out, and nobody would, talk about it. But I think it's mainly because most people always talked about, they wanted to see proof of something, proof of this, proof of that. And now growing up as an adult, when I'm unheard and I'm trying to prove a point about something, and I'm not necessarily to prove a point, but I'm trying to show proof of something, or something happens, I want to show proof right away. I'm like, no, 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 look, let me show you, let me show you, let me show you, let me tell you, let me explain. And I have to start from start to finish because I don't want to miss anything. And I want to make sure I attack everything you might ask me to save us some time. So because of my childhood, that is a trauma I've had growing up that I'm still working on to this day, from being unheard. To realize that sometimes, hey, I'm not heard. Well, I'm just not heard. I have to realize that sometimes it's not really. It's not like I need to be heard every single time. It's not like it's something urgent all the time. I had to realize some things were worth waiting. You could wait on, okay? Or being disrespected often as a child. You be disrespected often as a child, and you kind of grow up feeling like that's what you're supposed to do. Disrespect again. Disrespect meets disrespect. So you grow up thinking that that's okay and that's right. That's how things are supposed to go. Or having to defend yourself early. Kind of back to what I was saying earlier. Growing up unheard. My biggest part with that is I had to defend myself a lot, and I didn't have all the proof at the point to do it. And now because I know I can have proof and I get things taken care of, I kind of have that as a what do you call it? Trigger in a way. Toxic households where loud wins. Like, let's say you ever had, been around someone or been in a household growing up where all they do is yell, 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 and the loudest person is the one at the end of the day that gets away with it. They won. They got it down packed. It doesn't matter because obviously it got it to them. That's what they wanted, and the loudest person is heard. So everybody like, oh, okay, so they must have got their way. We're gonna listen to what they say, or whatever the case may be. Um, or not feeling safe unless you're dominant. This one is a big one because I feel like that is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. Where if you're not in control of the situation, or you're not the dominant person in the situation, you may feel like you're not safe, all because you may not have the foundation under your feet to be able to say, I'm going to throw the biggest punch in a way. Okay. Um, we have to learn to take ourselves out of it sometimes and make sacrifices and compromises to realize that we are our own triggers sometimes. I've been realizing that sometimes I trigger myself over things that may not even are going to happen. And that's horrible, because why do you want to put yourself in that kind of mood or situation when that hasn't even occurred, or probably is not going to occur? A lot of reflective anger comes from childhood environments where you had to defend yourself constantly. Maybe you grew up in a house where the loudest person won all the arguments, or the strongest personality may have controlled the room, or respect wasn't given, it was demanded. So you learned, if I don't match energy, I get walked over. If I don't treat you the way you treat me, I get walked over. You didn't develop reflective anger because you're just a mean person, a mean individual. You developed it because at one point, it kept you safe. It kept you safe enough. But let me tell you something about humans. We all have one trait in common. Sorry. We all have one trait in common: survival. Everybody knows how to survive. Some people might be better at it than others, but we all know at least how to survive, the basic instincts of survival. We know that much. But survival habits don't always serve you in the peaceful environments. They don't always serve you. And some of us are still fighting wars that ended years ago. You know what I mean by that? We have these wars going on that they're one sided. We no longer need to fight them. They probably wasn't our war to begin with. It was a war probably created from manipulation or confusion. Or again, it could have just been trauma, right? But why are we still fighting a war that ended years ago? And I know y'all know what I mean by that. I just feel like we have to get to a point where we can start being more self-aware. I know becoming more aware of your flaws and your um, rooms for improvement is probably a little scary. And that's okay, honestly. It's supposed to be, I believe so. I think, again, uncomfortability breeds growth. So if you're scared, uncomfortable, you're going to grow through it to get through it. I don't think it's such a bad idea to acknowledge the fact that, hey, I'm not a perfect person. I have all these flaws. And at the end of the day, they're not getting any better, or I need to work on them, or I need to do better with them. I think if we can acknowledge that and learn from that, and move forward with that, it'll be easier to kind of understand more about your, um, how do you call it? You'll learn more how to control it when it comes control yourself and your emotions better when it comes to reflective anger. I think if we keep denying who we are to ourselves, when we know the truth, we create confusion with our minds that is not needed, which is why we have these made up personalities we create to become these people that we know we're really not. And I've been there before. And I've learned that I've always wanted to be myself. I love being me. Nobody can be me. Nobody can be better than me. I am me. I am the best me I can be today. I will be a better me tomorrow. And I will be a better me the day after that. Every single day. All in all. Um, so let's talk about how that reflective anger will really affect the people around you: friends, family, close relatives, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about how that would actually affect the people around you. Like in relationships, partners feel unsafe emotionally. When you have a partner and when they can see that all you can do is match the energy given to you, no matter what the situation can be. Listen, let me tell you something. If I did wrong to my partner and I'm the one making up for what I did wrong and something happens, first of all, I would be on my best behavior. I would be damn near kissing the ground they walk on to see what I need to do to correct the mistake I made for us to be in this situation. When it came to them getting mad about something or upset about something, I am not about to match energy with them and get upset and angry with them too. I'm about to calm down and be like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get angry because I don't want to get this further than where it is. I want to fix what we have going on. So, what can I do to help that? What am I doing that's causing the issue? Because if it doesn't happen and they're mad at me for something I did wrong to cause a mistake and I need to fix it, and they get mad, and then I'm all like, "What the hell you getting mad for? You need to calm down. You tripping." Da, da, da." Now it's nobody getting nowhere. Nobody's getting nowhere, and we in this cycle of just yelling and tripping with each other. When in the other way of me saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm not trying to make you mad. What did I do to make you upset? Let's talk about it. I don't want to make you mad. I don't want to make you angrier than what you are. Let's fix this." Me doing that is going to get us further along because then you'll see, even though you're upset about it with me, I want to fix it. I don't want to cause more problems. My reflective anger could have caused me to actually respond in the intent to actually with listening with the intent to respond instead of with the intent to understand what my partner is saying. So if if I'm feeling safe emotionally, you should feel safe emotionally, which means if one of us is not, we need to find out what's going on. Because if you are feeling like that, obviously it means whoever the other partner is, they are not the best at emotional control. I believe. I could be wrong because I've been wrong before, okay? But I believe it makes sense to me. Conversations escalate a lot quicker at that point, and vulnerability disappears. So it's like you went from I want to explain to you and tell you what's going on with me to what's up? You good today? You eat? All right, cool. All right, see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Hey, good morning. You going to work? All right, me too. Cool. It just gets to a day to day lifestyle. Nothing changes, nothing different, nothing improves. It's just a day to day lifestyle that you'll continue to go through until you fix that cycle, until you find out what it is, what is bothering your partner enough to make them feel that way. I never want my partner to be to a point where they're not feeling like they're emotionally safe enough to come to me and open up and talk to me if I was to explode or get loud or be upset. I would want my partner to be able to feel like, hey, you're upset and put the hand on my shoulder. Okay, let's talk about it. That's what I would expect, right? That's me. That's me. But I also feel like we need to play a part in making sure our spouses have that room and that safe space to be able to do so. Because I had to realize at one point in my life that if all I can be is angry, who gonna want to open up to me? If all I can be is angry, if all I can be is upset, who's gonna want to talk to me? Nobody. Nobody at all. Friends, families, kids. If I'm just angry, then I'm like, I'm the angry old man again. I'm the angry old dude again. Like I'm the hey, get off my lawn. Stanley, get off my lawn. But seriously though, we have to give our partners the opportunity to feel safe enough to be able to come to us with stuff like that. Because there's got to be something we're doing where they don't feel emotionally safe enough to come and talk and open up and express themselves. I tell you what, the minute that they stop talking in general, you really got to worry. You really got to worry. And I bet you it won't be so fun then to have that same conversation. It won't be so fun then realizing that if you would have just stepped up a while ago and what do you call it, been proactive, you wouldn't have to be in this situation. But I mean, hey, who am I? I'm just a guy that want to give you advice to help you grow and improve because I believe every one of us out here can grow and be better. I don't care what you say. Every one of us out here can, even if it's you stop cussing every day, you can grow and be better. You know, like with children, if you don't know, children mirror behavior. You know what I mean? Like they learn mirroring behavior. They watch what you do, they see what you do, and they mimic it. They do it. And sometimes they do it better than you. They do it better than you. Some children will see an anger and utilize that in school, utilize that outside the home. You know, in general, if they have siblings around their siblings or if they have spouses, they will go ahead and, you know, if they're adults at that point, not spouses, they will look at that in the home as if that's the sign to be because that's all they've known. That's all they know. They mirror the behavior that you show. That is why I try my best every single day to try to improve in some way, shape, or form. Because not only do I have two young women looking up to me growing up, I have two young men growing up to me, or growing up looking at me, looking up to me. So, with that being said, I have eight eyes, four pair of eyes, but eight eyes, watching me do my thing. And if I do not lead by example with them, show better behavior with it, we would not get anywhere. If my kids could not have seen me grow when I'm angry to make myself calm down and cool off, they probably would know what it means to calm down. They would probably just think it's just being angry all day. So we cannot keep mirroring bad behavior to these children and then be looking around like, where they get it from? It's like you took the stone. Here, let me get some. You took the stone and threw it, and then you hit your hands. Who did that? Who did that? Why? No, that's not fair to these babies. That's not fair. Because at some point, they're going to start associating anger with power. And we do not want that to happen at all. I think we can all come to an agreement that we would rather not have these kids correlate anger with power. We are not the Hulk. They're not the Hulk. Doesn't work that way. Okay. It's just a cartoon. Or they stop communicating openly. So your kids stop saying stuff to you, telling you what's going on, what's bothering them. And I would hate to be that parent to where my kids would feel like they can't come to me about something that may be very serious and they may actually need me for. I'd be very upset about that. Okay. Um, or with friends or at work, to be so honest. People walk on eggshells. Okay. Very tight eggshells. Um, you're labeled hard to talk to, or respect becomes fear. That's kind of how it is. Some people would rather be feared than respected, but I just feel like I would rather be respected. You know, fear is a different type of respect in my eyes, but it's not. It's like the bad one. It's like the bad type. You know, like everything has a good and bad, like a yin and yang. I think the yin and yang from fear, you know, is I don't know how to use. I know it's called fear for a reason, but I'm telling you right now, it is horrible when somebody fears you more than they respect you. I think that's a bad thing. Some people like it. I think it's horrible. I think it is. I think, because when you think about it, reflective anger doesn't just impact you. It's not just impacting you. It changes the atmosphere of every room you walk into. Like in relationships, your partner starts measuring their tone before speaking. With your kids, they learn that emotion equals confrontation. And at work, people might respect your position, but they don't feel safe approaching you. Reflective anger builds walls. Healthy leadership builds bridges. Okay. Very good bridges at that. So ask yourself, are people comfortable being honest with you or just careful? Depending on what job you ask, I think it's both. You know what I mean? I think it's both. In general, though, in life, I don't know. I think people are okay with being honest with me. I get people coming to me all the time to talk to me and ask for my opinion on something. Not really saying they're going to take my advice, but they just ask for how I feel about it or what I would do if I was in that situation. And I'll give my honest opinion about it. Teach his own. Everybody does their own thing. Everybody does their own thing. But one of the biggest things I try to tell y'all is, again, with all of that, Disrespect doesn't always need to meet disrespect. Emotional discipline over emotional reaction. Silence is sometimes strength. Like you don't have to speak up all the time. You can walk away and let it go. Like boundaries over retaliation. You have to realize there's no point in you doing that. You don't want to. I'm just being honest. You don't want to. I'd want to talk about maybe responding versus reacting because we think we reacted and that kind of how the responding goes from it. But I don't think so. One of the strongest things a man can do is not respond immediately. Okay. Diamond asked me about it. She was like, I'd be wondering why you take so long to respond. And I tell her I have to process it. Some things I have to process and make sure that I have the correct verbiage. I have to make sure I'm not insulting you when I say it. I have to make sure that I it's not a trap, it's not a setup, you know. Then I have to make sure again that I'm not insulting you. And then I have to find the right words to say it to you so that way you would understand it and not take it as an attack. So there's a reason why. Um, Not everything requires a reaction. I'm gonna be honest. I realize that people just want a reaction from you. And when you don't give them one, their reaction is priceless. You watch them try to pry at you to get you to blow up. And it's entertaining to see them try so hard. It's very entertaining. Um, you got to remember that sometimes people are projecting their own pain. Sometimes they're baiting you because they like to troll. You know, they want to just see if they can get a reaction out of you. Sometimes they're emotionally immature, so they don't even really know how serious it is. They just don't really take it that serious at the time. Um, but matching disrespect doesn't make you powerful. It just proves you're emotionally available for chaos. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like living a life of chaos. I gave that up a long time ago. Because peace requires discipline. I'll tell you that right now. There's a difference between I won't tolerate disrespect and I need to prove something. There's a big difference for those two. Okay. True power is really controlled energy. And I mean, you controlling your energy. Don't let nobody else try to control yours. Don't let them try to talk you out of it. You control your own energy. You can do that. You don't have any issues. You don't have any problems. When you do have problems, you'll have a better way of dealing with those problems as they come along. Now, I don't just want to talk about reflective anger and not talk about a few healthy ways to deal with it. Um, I do want to talk about the pause rule. I do want to talk about, you know, it's a 10-second rule. Ask what outcome do I want? Let me give you practical, let me get tools to actually use in the list. I'm gonna give you about 7 of them. The pause rule, which is, you just pause for about 10 seconds and process the information you're receiving. Ask what outcome do I want? Lower your voice instead of raising it. Try to come to a calm tone. Therapy or men's groups. I think men's groups will be a good start to, and then go into therapy. That way you see what it looks like so you can go into it and do it. Whew. Physical release, gym, running, boxing, things of that nature. Whatever it is, whatever you may want to do. Um, Identify triggers in advance. That's the one that's going to be tricky for some. But when you do identify triggers, man, I'm telling you, nobody gonna be able to get to you. Not that easily, for sure. Now, communicate feelings without mirroring your tone. And that's like trying to communicate what is the issue without letting them hear the issue in your tone as well. With a clear, calm voice, so they understand that it's something you want to be worked on. You don't heal reflective anger by suppressing it. I tell y'all, you can't just suppress anything because sooner or later, it can only be suppressed for so long before it explodes. You heal it by actually understanding it. So start with the pause, right? When you feel that heat rise, that tight chest, that jaw clench, whatever it may be, just pause. Pause. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want right now? Because anger is loud, very, very loud, but consequences are permanent. You can't take those back. Okay. And sometimes the most masculine thing you can do to really do is choose peace. Now, reflective anger isn't about being a bad person, it's about being a person who learned how to survive. But survival mode is not the same as growth mode. You can be strong without being reactive, you can demand respect without becoming disrespectful. You can lead your household without controlling every tone in the room. And most importantly, you can heal the version of you that felt like he had to fight everything. Because not every disagreement is war, not every tone is an attack, and not every moment requires your fire. Save some for later. It's going to get cold. Sometimes strength looks like calm, and calm is contagious. When I was younger, I used to always wonder why people that were strong enough, that could fight really good, why when somebody called them out, that they didn't prove that, oh, let me just whoop you real quick. Let me do it real quick. What I realized is they had the discipline, the calmness, the energy, the tone to realize I could win, but what would it prove? Something we already know. Like I don't want to. It's not worth it. Okay, it's not worth it at all. It's like my whole reasoning on why, like I'm not a woman beater. I'm not gonna put my hands on a woman. I feel like I'm going to win. So why would I do that? What's the point of fighting back or hitting her back if I know I'm gonna win? I think that's stupid. I think it's pointless. So I take that with that. I see a lot of people have the power to do so, but they choose peace instead of violence. When I was younger, it irritated me and it bothered me that they would not just show these people that they could do what was being asked with no problems. It bothered me so much. As an adult, I have so much respect for them because it's like, man, you were so calm, so centered, so focused in that moment. You realize that I don't need to act out of anger to prove a point to you. You want a point proven. I don't need it proven. You do. So why would I? What am I doing it for? The discipline that people have with that, it's amazing. It's amazing. It is amazing. Just bear with me for a second. Take a deep breath with me. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I want y'all to just say something with me for this. Tonight, I release the need to mirror every emotion that comes toward me. I am not required to match disrespect. I am not required to raise my voice to be heard. I am not required to defend myself in every moment. I choose control. I choose awareness. I choose peace. My my anger once protected me, but I no longer live in survival mode. I am allowed to grow beyond the version of me that had to fight everything. I do not confuse reaction with strength. My strength is my restraint. My power is my discipline. My maturity is in my pause. I refuse to sit in misery disguised as toughness. I release grudges. I release imagined arguments. I release the need to win every exchange. I will not carry old battles into new conversations. I will not let my past dictate my present tone. Okay. I am calm even when challenged. I am steady even when tested. I am thoughtful before I respond. I am aware of my triggers, but I am not controlled by them. I create environments where people feel safe. My children feel safe. My partner feels safe. My presence brings stability, not tension, not at all. I break cycles. I choose reflection over reaction any given day. Growth over ego, peace over pride. And every day I become a man who is not ruled by anger, but led by intention. Tonight I rest. Tonight I release. Tonight I choose peace. And peace chooses me. And I say that because one of the things me and my sister was talking about was, losing a loved one. And I explained that, I lost my brother when I was 2 months after I turned 20. My brother left me. He was my older brother, but he was also, if you know me and Lil Baby, that was my best friend. Like, man, like look, yeah, you look around, I got everything here for him. Like I got all this stuff around. I got picture on the wall. I keep, that was a big part of my life growing up. My big brother was a really big part of my life growing up. I looked up to him a lot, and I felt safe around him. For a kid growing up with nobody around, nobody to help out, people looking down on me, but my brother, you know, was always there. He always showed signs. He always made sure that outside of home I was protected, and inside of home I felt loved and safe when he was around. So to have somebody like that for 20 years of a life that nobody else was like that towards you, and for them to disappear, it does something to you. I don't know what it created in me, but it was just full of anger, aggression, and violence. I was so angry when my brother died. I was so upset at him for leaving me in this place without the love that he gave me. I was so angry about that, so upset. And I was telling her, I said, I probably hurt a lot of people because I was so angry. I probably said some things to people that I probably didn't have to say. Um, and I'm so sorry to anybody that probably had to deal with me through my grievances and I didn't act the proper way. There's a good part of my life without my brother, the first couple of years, 2 or 3 years, that are kind of blacked out to me. Um, I don't really remember a lot in the first 2 or 3 years of his passing. I worked a lot, like 3 or 4 jobs. I partied a lot. I drank a lot, um, to hide the pain, to cover it all up. But after, again, I'm so happy for therapy. I'm so glad therapy's there. I went to therapy and started working on myself and started realizing how much trauma I had. And I still have some. And how much my brother plays a huge part in the man I am today. I challenge myself so much because I've always only cared about his opinion and what he thinks of me. I've always wanted him to see me and say, "You did it. You made it. You got the girl you always talked about. You got the family you always talked about. You on your own. You a man. You're doing your thing." I've always wanted him to be here for this. So the more I succeed, the angrier I get, and I hate that for myself. So I had to do a lot of digging to realize that holding on to my brother in such a huge way is creating some very toxic, or was creating some very toxic habits for me. I can hold on to all of the great memories we had without trying to hold on to him as a person. Till this day, it's going to be 14 years in August. It is still hard for me to truly, truly accept and acknowledge that my brother has passed away. We was having an argument one time with my other brother Pooty, and we were talking about speakers and tires, and I'm like telling him, "Man, I'm telling you, I sold traded it to Lil Baby for this, man. Call him, he'll tell you. Call him, he'll tell you. Call him." And Pooty like, "How I'm gonna call him?" And I'm like, Pull your phone down and call him." And then it hit me like, "Oh, yeah, you can't call him. You're right. He gone." So even now, even in today's time, it's just hard for me to really swallow the fact that my brother is not here with me, because he was such a huge part of my life and played such a huge role, even not being here, in how well I do in life. So kudos to that. But I also realized that there was a lot of anger hidden deep within me in the last 13, 14 years of losing my brother. It's crazy to realize that the one man that, I had so much love for, so much respect for, which I still do, it's like that's the one thing holding me back in certain ways, in certain areas. Crazy, right? Crazy, 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 crazy. However, I say that to say this. I've always wanted to improve in a way that I would surprise myself. Me 4 or 5 years ago, if you had this conversation with me about reflective anger and how sometimes disrespect don't need disrespect, I would tell you to get about my face, probably. Because if somebody got me messed up, they got me messed up. That's what I would probably tell you. So the fact that now I can see things like that and understand that, man, there was so much going on that I could have avoided by simply having better conversations. That's it. Better conversations, healthier conversations, and learning that I don't have to be angry or upset every time something doesn't go my way. That's probably one of the biggest things I had to realize with it. But again, I'm here now. I'm working on it every single day. I'm doing better every single day at it. And I'm happy I am. I'm happy I'm improving on it. I just ask that we all do the same. We all try to improve and make sure that we find a healthy way to deal with it. I understand that it's hard. It's not the easiest thing to do. But I also understand that we know how to work on things and we know how to take care of issues and solutions. So I'm gonna challenge all of y'all to that. The next time you get into it with somebody and you feel that inner demon coming out and it's trying to rise up and come out, I want you to put it back in his motherfucking place and tell him, it ain't happening. There's an artist that he says, what I really want to do is learn to um, get my feelings in control. Pretty much, he said, I want to be able to when they start thinking that, or when my feelings or emotions start getting out of control, I want to pull a bane on them and put them back in the box and say, "Oh, you think you in control? You think you in control? No, 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 no." I like that saying because I want to get to that point where I think now I'm at a good point where I can process it enough to, okay, hey, maybe I need to take a minute, take a second, give me a minute, give me a second. But I want to get to a point where I can proactively be like, oh, I see where this is going. All right, let me get my feelings in check before I get there. Boom, it's there. There we go. All right, I can handle that better. I want to get to a point where I don't have to just keep saying, hey, give me a minute. I mean, I am if I need to, but I want to get to a point where I can proactively predict how my emotions may become manipulated, or which way they may go. So I can be ready to respond to my emotions while I respond to you respectfully. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I just challenge y'all to do the same thing. Next time you get into a heated argument or a heated fight, whatever it is, disagreement, take a step back, take a deep breath, pause 10 seconds. process it, think about what you want from this situation, and try to deal with it better. I guarantee you, the first time you do that and you see the power it gives you and how you feel, I guarantee you, you'll keep doing it. I promise you. Because the more I have practiced that and done it, it'd be at times where I'll be like, I'm not finna react to that bullshit. I'm not reacting to that. I'm good. There's been times that has happened because I realize it's not worth it. I see where it's gonna go, regardless. So I hope y'all will do that for me. Next week we could check in. Y'all could tune in again live and let me know if y'all have attempted to work on that or could do better at it, whatever the case may be, if, ands, or buts. Just let me know. Let me know. But I do appreciate y'all again for coming out and talking to me on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I do appreciate it. Came out and seen your boy Juss Quanni on Talk is Cheap here on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Don't forget to tune in again next Wednesday at 4 p.m. I appreciate y'all. I catch y'all. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.